Some might wonder why we're doing Alvida today. This is why. I won't even say anything. That is the smoothest intro I've ever seen. Too badass. Okay? The lady is too badass. What's going on, guys? It is your boy Cash, and we are here today to go over the lovely Alvida. I just wanted to show the little intro. When you click on them in the index, they kind of do a little cool intro. I don't know, I kind of digs it, kind of likes it. But anyway, obviously she is a debuffer. She is new to the game, or one of the newer characters. I heard rumors that there might be another character, which is why I'm saving up my lovely little gems, hoping that something comes. But I definitely need more epic characters for Fusion, because it's getting a little dry. So I did get another character, which you guys, maybe if you can guess, or wouldn't be able to guess, you can probably just go back to the beginning of the video. When I loaded into the game, I just saw that intro again, and I was like, yo, let me give this girl her respect. So that's what I'm gonna do in this video. We're gonna talk about Alvida. We're gonna talk about everything like we've done in the last past guides, and you know, keep it uniformed, informed. And first thing we're gonna look at are these lovely stats. She has a 109 attack speed. Pretty good. She normally goes first in my team with my bad gear sets and all, so she's relatively fast. Other characters obviously have a little bit more speed than her on the base side, but that doesn't mean anything too terrible. Her attack though, as far as the other debuffers involved, she has 5,693. Kang coming in with a little bit less speed, and also a little bit less attack. I'm just giving you guys a little comparison. McCarthy actually coming in with the same exact attack speed as Alvida, but much less attack. And last but not least, the other flagship character, which you can see is a little bit more attack than her, but one less speed. So just to give you guys a little grips of where she lands as far as the debuffer class go. So she's one of the quicker ones. She has a decent amount of attack. We'll see exactly why she's like that. She has pretty much all AoE or multi-hitting attacks. Everything that she does can hit multiple targets, which is good that her attack is not like in the dumps. It's pretty good. But she has some of the best debuffing skills, I think, in the game, as far as like being helpful. Her S1 drops an anchor to attack an enemy as well as enemies on both sides, and it does physical damage. The skill gem set is 5% chance of reducing target's evasion by 10% for 2 turns. I'm gonna have to say that that's not really that good, specifically for the fact that it's 1, very low chance of proccing, and 2, lowering evasion is like very, it's okay, but it's nothing I would specifically aim for. I think triple red would be a really good substitution for that. It does physical damage, so might as well just do a little bit more damage when you actually are hitting. Remember, it can hit up to 3 characters, so I think red would be pretty good. Orange also I always think is pretty good, pretty much like alongside of it.
What a load of bullshit.
Next up, the special Steel Rain animates a destructive rainstorm with various weapons to deal physical damage 10 times. I still don't really know why they add how many times it hits. I feel like sometimes it matters and sometimes it doesn't. Don't sue me, I don't know. And this one inflicts a weakening effect that it reduces attack speed by 15%. We can load it up and see what that's like when it's leveled. And then we see that it's 45% for 3 turns. And just really quick, I always forget to do this. The S1 doesn't gain anything when you level it up. Nothing, it just does more damage. So what's really good about the S2 is that it hits everyone and has a chance to lower their attack speed by a considerable amount, especially if you level it up. The turn duration does not go up. But with that being said, let's look at the skill gem set. It's 5% chance of reducing the enemy's crit rate by 10% for 2 turns. So in my opinion, going 1 orange and 2 indigos isn't really that bad, just for that 5% chance. It is just 5%, but going 3 of these, you know, this one is a level 4 and this is level 3, so you can see that it goes up by 1. I could verify that by going to a 2. Yeah, so it goes up by 1. So a 5 would be 5 and a 6 would be a 6%. So 6 times 3 would be 18%. So then obviously 6 times 2 is just 12. And then we'll also say like, hey, you got a crit rate thing in there. So 12 plus a little bit more crit. I feel like that's okay. If you guys understand what I'm trying to say, I'm trying to break it down the best way I can. I feel like going for the skill gem set on the S2 is not that bad. You're losing literally the highest 6% additional weaken effect, but you're also trading the ability to have a 5% chance to lower their crit rate. I think it's worth it. But like I said, either that or you can just go straight all indigo. All up to your choosing, really. I'll probably be just going for the skill gem set for the extra 5% of BS, you know, that can happen. Next up is going to be Ruthless Bombardment. Fires a reckless full salvo from all guns of the Dragon Spire fleet to strike all enemies 14 times, dealing magic damage. Keep that in mind. It's not physical, and inflicts weaken effect that reduces attack by 50%. And I think if I remember correctly, it goes all the way up to 80%. I could have sworn it was 90%, but yes, 80% reduced attack. So that's pretty hefty. In the grand scheme of things, you're probably gonna want to try to get this off as quick as possible, lower all of the attack of your enemies so they do less damage across the board. The skill gem set here is 10% chance of reducing the target's max HP by 10%. Sounds like it's really good against tanks, but for squishier characters, that's not gonna mean much. But it is hitting everyone, so I guess that's why it could be really good. It could be minuscule. And as you can see here, it's blue, indigo, violet. Blue is the magic damage. Indigo, as we know, is the weaken effect. And violet is the attack speed after using a skill. And that reminds me, and someone's gonna kill me, is that violet is also good on the S1. I completely forgot about that. I was like, I could have swore there was something that you get attack speed on. But see, I don't have that many violent gems, so I was like, as you can see here, these are my gems. So I only have a 1 and a 2. So I was like, what's the difference of the colors? And it sucks because indigo and violet are like very close to each other. So yes, on the S1, just so we all know, that's another good option. If you don't care how much damage it is, then maybe just go with the full violet set, so you just gain some attack speed every time you use the skill. And as I said, it doesn't have a turn counter on it, so I'm assuming you just keep ramping your attack speed over and over again. Have absolutely no way of confirming that. But anyway, so with the S3 skill gem set, they're telling you you're gonna get some attack speed after using it, do additional damage, and increase the rate of which it goes down. Now, I'm not too fond of the 10% chance to lower their max HP, so for me, and since how important the debuff is, I would actually go all indigo here. You could be like, you know, double indigo blue if you wanted to, but for me personally, I think that the full indigo gem set would be the best for the S3. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's go into the little skill thing, whatever they call skill tester zone, and see her skills. Most of you've seen it already, but hey, you never know. Could be someone new, just got the character. Or this could be months from later, and you never know, so let's be thorough. So boom, here goes the S1. Drops the anchor. Now, if there's any characters to the left and the right of the character, it will obviously do damage to them as well. Really, really cool. It helps a lot when you're trying to do any type of farming. If there's characters next to it, make sure you target the one in the middle and it will hit the ones on the side. Then we have the S2 here, which is the Steel Rain, as we remember from before. Now I got it in slow-mo. I'm editing this out, but I did it before, and I don't know if you guys do the S2s also, if you have it in 4x mode, skip through, so now this is the proper animation for it. I didn't know that actually. So there it is, that will slow your attack speed. And last but not least, the lovely S3. They're right over there. Jumps down, very similar to the intro, just that there's more guns involved. And that is how you hit all enemies, by the way. So while we're here, we can also check out the passes, one of the things I love about this game. So the Broad Mine increases Alvida's attack by 5% for each weaken effect afflicted on all enemies. This is obviously going to be really good because your S2 and S3 hit all enemies. You'll start racking this up pretty quick. The second passive is the Raid Alert. Ignores enemies' weaken resistance when attacking an enemy below 50% HP. Blocks them from gaining weakening effect tolerance even when a weaken effects are successfully afflicted. Super good for a lot of these bosses. Yes, it's good for PvP a little bit as well, but it's really good for the bosses that have these stacking tolerances every time you land a debuff, and this allows you to combo her with other characters that have weaken effects, and she'll be helping out, constantly land them like attack speed, and from what I can remember, all the weaken effects are something that affects the stats. And now that we have the world boss, you should definitely use her on, I think it's, what is it, the second one? Axe Tectone, he knows. Tectone knows all about it. If I remember watching his video, something, I think the second boss of the world boss, you use a lot of weaken effects, so you definitely want to use Alvida in there. Last but not least, Mark of the Great Pirate increases enemy soul consumption by 1 for each weaken effect that Alvida has. Really cool is that this is obviously a little bit more PvP oriented, that if you're weakening her, it will make it harder for you to use moves against her. So really good to just kind of even stick her in there. It's almost like a support role. And another thing that people have always asked me, and well, not always asked me, and not that many people have asked me, but I thought when this one person asked me this one question, I thought it would be good to include it into these guides, is that this is a backline character. I didn't mention the other ones because someone's like, can I use Balder in the front line? And I was like, I mean, yeah, because it's passive. When he gets hit, he puts a blaze on you. But now I realize that maybe some people don't have any idea where these characters are supposed to be placed inside of the formation. So yes, Alvida is mostly supposed to be in the back line. If she gets hit with a weakening effect, that's where that passive kind of comes in. She's supposed to just sit in the back. Most debuffers sit in the back and then just deal out a bunch of debuffs, and she also gains attack for it. So next up, we're gonna go over to the gear. Of course the gear. Great Spirit is an amazing set. I mean, every time you land as a crit, you get 10% attack speed, and since she does have AoE, in my opinion, she has more chances to crit because she's hitting multiple targets on her S1, S2, S3. It's more likely that this will actually come into effect. So I think Great Spirit is pretty good. Also, if you do want to go for the 6-piece set, it's not that bad to get that additional act more. Great Spirit is going to be recommended on most characters just because of the 6-piece set is really good. BJ set is purely for farming, in my opinion. For the most part, as you keep killing things, you do more damage, your crit power rate goes up. And then also, as you know, the 6-piece set, more specifically to her, is that she has increased crit against weakened enemies, and we know that she is going to have a lot of weakened enemies out there, increasing her overall damage. But that is a 6-piece set, so pretty much once you go that, you're only looking into that. More of a DPS oriented Alvida. Full Moon set, as you can see here, is 25% debuff success rate. Now that is going to be most people's 3-piece set. They're going to usually go with that and mix it in with another one because of the fact, as we just saw with her passives, it's really important for her debuffs to land. It kind of makes everything make a lot more sense of the character. Also, reflects debuffs back. Obviously, I mean, you don't want to reflect the weakens. The weakens are pretty cool on her, you know, with the 3rd passive, but you probably don't want stuns and things of that nature. But I would still suggest overall the 3-piece set of the Full Moon, and then probably the 3-piece set of the Great Spirit. I think those are the 2 ones that I would normally go for her. You could do something cheeky like the Corrupt obtains 1 soul depending on the number, the turn number, even numbers currently. So I think that would be also cool if you're looking to somehow boost it. That's more PvP oriented in my opinion. And that's about it. The Full Moon set, in my opinion, is definitely the best. She needs to land her debuffs. Most debuffers are going to need the Full Moon set, but there's some other options I think that are pretty good if you think that she's always going to land it because, you know, you pray to the RNG gods. But for us normal human beings, you know, we might need that Full Moon set. So here goes my girl. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If there's anything that I left out, I hope not. I think I got everything this time. I need to play a little bit more, but I've been really busy with my job now. Guys, you see how many books that I have? Oh wait, no, you can't see here. Do you see how many legendary book pages I have? Epic book pages, rare book pages that are pretty much epic books. I mean, I just been stacking them, and I know now that I can actually do like multiple like this. I just been too busy. Like even now, I'm about to go into work right now, and by the time I get out of work, the reset's gonna happen. So on my lunch break, I just gotta do all my dailies. And what are you doing here? There we go. We want her. I gotta do all my dailies within a certain amount of time to make sure I get stuff done. I don't have time to like really mess around with the game, but hopefully you guys enjoy. Of course. But there's one more important thing that I have to tell you, is that every day in the Kashino is your lucky day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.